Welcome to your next edition of Highlights, our ongoing free education for candle charts, Western technicals, and trade management. And for this session, we're going to be looking at the importance of shadows, and we'll show you this. So we know that, and actually let me just kind of go back here so you're not visually distracted. We know that real bodies, that is the relationship between the opening and closing of each session, whether it's intraday, daily, weekly, or even longer, are core components of a candlestick line because it shows us the balance of forces between the bulls and the bears. But because our eyes normally go to the real body, the fat part of the candlestick line, many of us will tend to forget about looking at shadows. And a shadow, as you know, is the high or low of the session. And at times, even if there's no specific candlestick signals, we could use shadows to get a sense of what's happening at a potential support or resistance area. So we'll go to the chart now. And notice down here, yes, we have a doji, not quite a hammer because the upper shadow is too long. Maybe we have a Harami cross here where doji is following a long black real body, but really no major reversal candlestick signals, no bullish engulfing patterns, no hammers, no piercing patterns, and so forth. But notice whenever this market got to around 1020, 1030, it bounced back. Lower shadow, not specifically long here, but at least a lower shadow. Now long lower shadow, relatively long lower shadow compared to the size of the real body. So we're getting a visual representation that either the bears are losing steam every time the market gets near the lows, or the bulls are coming in to overwhelm the bears. So when you have a group of, I would say 3 or more long lower shadows near a support area, I would pay attention to it. I noticed that the sell-off over here began with the bearish engulfing pattern over here. And as long as we're looking at other things, here we have a bullish engulfing pattern. But once the market closed under the law of the bullish engulfing pattern as it did here, we do not any longer look at this as a support level because it's a broken support. Now, the reason I drew this horizontal line here, notice it's resistance, 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 resistance. Now, we're not talking about shadows now. Now I'm talking about at least a series of long lower shadows, upper shadows. Here we do have a shooting star. The lower shadow is short enough for this to be considered a shooting star. So we do have one long upper shadow with a shooting star. But what's interesting about this is that notice how the market broke above a resistance area and failed to hold above it. That's a classic falling off the roof. And with that, once it gets back below this broken support area here, the target is the most recent low, which we reached over here. So I just wanted to throw in a few asides. The focus here was the shadows, series of long lower shadows, but we did look at the falling off the roof as well. Okay, thanks for joining me.